All right, man, let's talk about, you got all this talk about Oleksandr Usyk being the top 5 heavyweight greatest pound for pound fighter of all time. Blood made a good point. I didn't know this. He said that Keith Thurman, first time seeing Roy Jones and being from Florida was when he fought Tito Trinidad. And I'm like, dude, this is somebody that they got up here calling fights and wanting to start a boxing YouTube channel at some point. Like I said before, most of these fighters, they only was fighters because they felt like they had no other option. They was 6'6", they would go hoop. They was built for football, kicking the soccer ball, or throwing the pigskin around. They would do that. So most of these fighters, by trade, by choice, they fought. They didn't really want to be fighters. One thing I noticed by watching amateur fighters or knowing some amateurs, they don't watch boxing. They don't watch professional boxing. A lot of amateur boxers don't watch professional boxing. I don't think if y'all know that. But, historically, like most people don't even think historically about fighting. And, they say you can't go get to where you're going unless you know your history. So, that's the thing. That's the thing. So you can't get to where you're going unless you know your history. So, but anybody, like if we talking about accolades, but if we talking about the overall, accolades, who you beat and all, no, he's not even, he might get squeezed in the top 20 or top 25. But if you talking about literally whooping heavyweights, I don't feel like he beat guys like, Michael Spinks, Michael Moore. I don't think he beat guys like that. David Tua. I don't think he Ken Norton, Ernie Shavers. I'm not even sure he could beat Floyd Patterson. Maybe, I think he could beat Floyd Patterson. You think he got enough power to put Floyd Patterson down and stuff like that. But, you start getting into guys like, what would the chances be a Hakeem Rahman? A Ray Mercer. Come on now. People say, well, Tommy, what was his name? Morrison beat, forget who it was. I think he said George Foreman. That was an old Foreman. But Tommy Morrison might give him some problems. The truth be told, he may give him some problems. So when we having these conversations, about, especially if it's just simply who he beating, I could probably think of 20 heavyweights that I feel like that'll wash him. That's gonna pack him up, and there's no disrespect to him. Look in the era he fighting in. It ain't really no good heavyweights. But he's talking about, just overall, top 20, top 25. I don't think he up there with Larry Holmes. I see somebody put Mike Tyson on a Mount Rushmore over Larry Holmes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Mike Tyson should be on no one's Mount Rushmore of boxing. And I'm just keeping it real. He's on the complete Mount Rushmore of boxing? No. Heavyweight boxing? Hell no. Oh, he beat Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes got off the couch and fought Mike Tyson. Larry Holmes in his prime would absolutely make Mike Tyson look foolish. He didn't fight no prime Larry Holmes. Niggas retired. Let's keep it real. So, no. He ain't in the same breath for no, Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, especially Prime Foreman, Larry Holmes, Lennox Lewis. I don't even think he more accomplished than Vitaly and Vladimir. But you can't say that. I'm not gonna argue they really wasn't shit. But yeah, no. The people don't know boxing, bro. They don't know boxing. They absolutely know nothing about boxing. To sit here and say he a top 5 heavyweight or top 10 heavyweight is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, these are people, like I said, if you got Keith Thurman, who never seen, you know, Tito Trinidad, never seen Roy Jones, he fought Tito Trinidad, it's wild. You didn't see the Tony fight, you didn't see the Hopkins fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ. You didn't see Tarver 1. I think Trinidad came after that, but so be it. But these people are just saying stuff and they don't know nothing about boxing, and we proved it time and time again. And I ain't the greatest historian of all time, but, you know, I know a little bit. I know a little bit, enough so you can't illegally search my shit, you know. But, you know, so be it. This is the most ignorant era for boxing. And not only for the most ignorant era for boxing, it's a public, you got public platforms. You got public platforms where you can be ignorant, like YouTube. Like, I be listening to you say that. Like, are you stupid? Like, Usyk wouldn't even be a champion in the 90s, bro. He wouldn't. So, you know. But, you know, people have their opinions. It's always a knee-jerk reaction. These fighters today are not that good. Activity lacking, skills lacking, and then you get a couple, guys that can be good in any era, they stick out like a sore thumb. Usyk and Crawford. Like, really, Canelo wouldn't it be as great in this era if he didn't have the bagging? If Canelo was just had to get it out the mud like the average fighter, I don't think he wouldn't be a world champion in this era. But Usyk is a great fighter. He's great for his era. And obviously, these are all hypothetical talks that you can't prove fact. You can have AI put them into a simulation, but it's still not factual. So, but people gonna believe what they gonna want to believe. So, me personally, no. Pound for pound all the time, that's a tough list. Especially when you talking about a cruiserweight. Because really heavyweight, really ain't no more talk about pound for pound when you get to heavyweight. That's a tough list. You're talking about Ray Robinson, you talking about Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, guys like Floyd Mayweather, guys like Salvador Sanchez, Aaron Pryor. I mean, you can go on and on. Finito Lopez. The well runs deep. Roy Jones Jr. You talking about Michael the Jinx Spinks is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Archie Moore. So when you start really, digging into the crates of boxing and seeing how great Carlos Monzon, Bernard Hopkins, Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Andre Ward. So when you start digging historically, it was just so many great fighters that's greater than him because their eras was tough. Their eras was tough, man. Jermaine Taylor was the one people will forget about. I ain't saying he better than Usyk, but he was solid. He was solid. So, but people gonna believe what they want to believe. But yeah, for the most part, that's about it, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications, we go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Shout out to Free Game 89 channel, Varsity Sports Talk X, you know, Kick, Twitch, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Peace.